my mind is empty of interesting things to do. It's amazing how much planning and thinking about a wedding for a little over a year now will drain out of a guy. And I wasn't even the one getting married. I suppose I should back up a little bit here. Yes, the wedding was actually last weekend. A week from tomorrow, actually, was when it happened. And it was a nice, quiet, low-budget, I almost said movie, low-budget wedding. Nothing particularly special for the participants other than the bride and groom, obviously. Not that I would know how important or special weddings are, considering this is only the third one I've been to. And this was also the first time I was part of the wedding party, which was an interesting experience. The best man was down in California, had just gotten a job, and he couldn't make it up here because his boss was kind of being some sort of mofo, from what I understand. And about 3 weeks ago, we found out about this, and so the groom moved up another one of his friends here already in Washington, said, hey, you want to be best man? Yeah, sure, why not? Turned out to be his brother, and that left an empty spot in the groomsman lineup. And so 3 weeks ago, they asked me, hey, you want to be a groomsman? I was like, yeah, sure. I don't have any drunken stories or funny outing stories or anything like that, so please don't ask me to stand up in front of a crowd. But yeah, sure, I'll stand up there with you. So, yeah, I got to be a groomsman at my sister's wedding. That was kind of interesting. And I got a lot of compliments on how I was dressed. I wore rented tux along with all the other groomsmen. And if I do say so myself, it's the best dressed I have ever been since 94 when I attended my grandfather's funeral. So, yeah, that's saying something. It's a nice outfit, by the way. I really liked it too, because yeah, me talking about a wedding, I might as well, because I've been talking about prepping for it for a long time, so I guess I have to fill you guys in on it a week later. The suits were, black jacket, black pants, black shoes, black socks, white shirt, and then they had kind of a robin egg blue vest with pinstripes and then a tie to match, and then a little corsage thingy on the side. So it was a lot of people came up to me and said, "Oh, Ava, you look so nice." God, I almost slipped up on my real name there. Ava, you look so nice in that suit. It looks great on you. And I got to say, honestly, that suit. I'm not saying that I looked good in it, but I'm just saying, just the suit overall was very, very nice. I liked it. Good choice, man. Good choice. So, I actually like that. My feet, oh my god. I don't wear dress shoes very often. I got the right size shoe, but just I don't walk around in dress shoes very often, and by about the third hour, my feet were starting to kill me, and by the sixth or seventh hour, because it was like a 6-hour wedding, from ceremony to when husband and wife left at around, what was it, 10:30, something like that. It just gotten dark. My feet were just fucking killing me. And during the night, it migrated into my knees and my back, so you can imagine how good I was feeling the next morning. And for the record, I was not hungover in the morning from alcohol. Believe it or not, I do not drink alcohol. I actually tried some of the wine that they had there and just, bleh. I did a couple sips and I couldn't do it. I don't drink wine. I don't drink beer. I don't drink anything like that. I don't smoke. I don't shoot up. I don't do anything that people would consider cool or hot or kind of bad habit, whatever it is. Just because I've heard so many horror stories over the year. And yes, I did go through the DARE program, but interestingly enough, I didn't go to my own graduation ceremony because I conveniently forgot to tell my parents when it was happening. So, oh well, like DARE was really going to do anything to me anyways. Anyways, the theme, if you can call that, for the wedding was kind of a seaside theme. So each of the tables had a little centerpiece that had some white, was it bleached out sand or whatever it is, a couple of candles, some real shells that they bought from somewhere, some imitation starfish. They actually looked like pretty damn good starfish, except that they weren't real. And then they had these little cutouts hanging from the 40-foot by 20-foot tents that we had all over the place. So it was a nice little arrangement. And then kind of kills me, my sister wore a strapless mermaid dress, which that was interesting. I don't know if she got that from her little fascination, the Disney princess thing. In 1990, when the first VHS for Disney's The Little Mermaid came out, we got that thing, and my sister and I memorized that movie upside down, inside out, backwards. That was just the funnest movie for us. Still is today, to some degree, for me. So I think she drew inspiration for that. But I was really pleased to hear that was the kind of dress that she had on. So I guess it just kind of came full circle, I guess. Now, I wasn't involved in much of the planning of the wedding. What kind of centerpieces are you going to have? What kind of arrangements, blah, blah, blah. I didn't do that. That's none of my goddamn business. But I was responsible for getting the venue together. My home. For the last little over a year now. Actually, we found out, let's see, he proposed to her in, December of '09. And we started working on the house a couple months after that, when the weather started getting nice enough. So we've been going almost non-stop since then. Although obviously in the last, 5-6 months or so, it's really been ramping up, and it's drained me so badly. I will tell you how bad this is. Aside from, the aches and pains, which finally went away after the third day or whatever it was, because we had to do cleanup. Thanks for the help on that, my dear sister, by the way. You ran off on your honeymoon, and you left no cleanup crew for us, and we were up at midnight running to the church to deliver those free-to-use tables and chairs that we had, even though my dad had to go back to college the next morning. Thanks for that 20-man crew that never showed up. We really appreciated it. But anyways, I've been dedicating more than a subtle amount of brain power to just keeping track of what's going on, where things are going to happen, things like that for the last year. And like I said earlier, I think I'm going through some kind of a withdrawal right now because my mind is usually... Okay, let me back up a little bit here. For somebody with high-functioning autism, Asperger's syndrome, my mind is constantly going with something. Always, 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 always. When I wake up in the morning, there's something there. When I'm taking a dump, when I'm eating, when I'm walking, when I'm there is always something going through my head. In the mind of AV Unit 4A, there is no such thing as clearing your mind, clearing your thoughts. There is no such thing. If it's not, lines from a movie or something that I've read online, it's music going through my head. It's crazy busy in there all the time. And a good portion of that brain power is actually dedicated to, giant robots and sci-fi and blah, 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 blah. So here it is, Friday, July 22nd, 2011, 6 days after the wedding. And I've had, 4 days now, this past a week, to do absolutely nothing. Do whatever the fuck I want to. And even recording this video, my mind is not empty, because I've got a song that I found on YouTube from Gokai-Oh going through my head right now. It's kind of a relentless thing. That's been following me since morning, so I've got that going through my head right now. But, for 4 days now, I've been trying to figure out what to do with myself. I've got, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 reviews, plus Titanus, that I have yet to do, that are just kind of sitting on top of my head right now, that I haven't been able to touch for the last 3 months now. 4 months, actually. I gotta start saying 4 months now. They've been sitting there for the last 4 months, and I've had 4 days where I could do absolutely nothing, because being unemployed is like the best thing in the world to do whatever the hell you want to, whenever the hell you want to. And the motivational power, whatever the hell it is in my head, is just gone right now. The first thing I'd have to do, that I need to do, is Leader Class Ironhide, who's been sitting there for a month now, and oh god, it kills me what happened with Leader Class Ironhide. Was it 3-4 weeks ago, beginning of July, Transformers Dark of the Moon came out, and I had Ironhide 3 weeks before the movie came out, which is plenty of time to get that thing up on Collection DX. This is going to be one of the coolest damn things I've ever done, getting a review for a toy out before the movie itself goes out in theaters, okay? This is going to be awesome. I'm going to get 1 million hits on YouTube within 3 weeks, okay? This is going to be the greatest fucking thing I've ever done on YouTube, okay? And I opened the box I opened the box a week before the wedding, which was a mistake on my part because it didn't occur to me that I'd be really, really, really distracted and really, really, really busy. And July 1st came and went, and there was no, I didn't even start typing the review. I didn't shoot the video. I haven't shot any pictures. Even to this day, I finished the text review. It's sitting there on Collection DX, but I have to fill in pictures and I need to shoot a video. But it kills me. Like, I got a figure from a toy that I hadn't seen yet, which I still haven't seen yet, by the way, which I want to see, by the way. I could have gotten it up before the movie came out, and, you know, which is what you're supposed to do on Collection DX. Ideally, you're supposed to do that. And I completely dropped the ball on that one, and it makes me sick. Because this is the only time I'm going to get where a character from a previous film is going to be appearing in the next one, so I actually got the toy knowing the character already, because you guys know me, I try to avoid movie spoilers wherever possible. But since we already knew who Ironhide was, I could buy that character, buy that toy before the movie came out. That wouldn't be a spoiler. Maybe the weapons that are inside of him, don't tell me because I haven't seen it yet. Maybe the weapons that are inside of him are or are not in the movie, whatever. But the point is, I knew who the character was, I knew what he looked like, there wasn't going to be anything special or revolutionary about it. So I'll buy it, and I'll review it for CDX. That'll be my little gift, my little treat. And it never happened. And the worst part is, I'll never get another chance to do it again. Well, except for maybe, like, Star Trek, or maybe Star Wars Episode 7, if George Lucas ever gets around to doing it, which supposedly there never was a 7, 8, 9, but I declare shenanigans on that. I remember quite distinctly there were going to be 9 episodes to Star Wars. So, yeah, my mind just went blank. That happens. Yeah, my mind goes blank quite a bit, so now I need to go find a new topic. Ooh, I know. I got to see Tron Legacy last night for the first time in 2D. It was not in 3D. Let me back up a little bit here. I saw the original probably when I was 7 or 8, and it was, it was a good enough movie. It was cool when I was a kid. We lost the tape. I can't remember if it broke or we threw it away by accident or something like that. Anyways, we lost the original VHS. And there was a long stretch there, like a decade and a half, where I didn't see it again, even though, I remembered it fondly. Unfortunately, I was not as attached to it as Josh B. and some of the others on CDX are, but, whatever. It happens. So I think that influenced how I felt about seeing Tron Legacy last night. It did not measure up to the hype, as I thought it would. As a lot of other people have said, it didn't measure up to the hype, certainly because they hyped it for like 2 years or whatever it was before they even gave us a full trailer. And then we had to wait another, 6 months after that first trailer showed up? But anyways, at least it didn't drop the ball. There wasn't a loud thunk when the movie ended, like, what the fuck was this? You waited 20 years to make the sequel and you did this shit? It wasn't that. Like, yeah, it was a good movie on its own. It stood up well, blah, 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 blah. But just, whatever. Now, obviously, I'm seeing it like a year after the movie came out, so there are no toys on the shelves. But, looking at the toys that have been reviewed on Collection DX, I'm kind of glad I didn't get any of them, because those toys just aren't that interesting. I did post my initial comments on it on the Tron Legacy teaser trailer on Collection DX. I posted my initial reaction on there, so I'm not going to waste any more time here talking about that. Anyway, since my brain is turned to clay right now, I actually didn't have much more to say than just kind of rambling a little bit about the wedding. So I need to find a topic of some kind here in the last few minutes that I can use up. I'm actually having to re-record the last, 12 minutes now of this vlog entry because I actually did the topic that the other known 59, also known as Bone Society X, asked me, what was it, a month and a half ago, and I realized I was running out of time. So, Bone Society X, my apologies, but I'm actually going to save that for, again, the next vlog. I can't do it here, so, because I was running out of time and I was spending a lot of time talking about stuff, so, oh well. I think I'll hang on to that audio, though, save it for the next one, whatever. Couple of new figures, yes, action figures that Ava Unit 4A is speaking about here, ladies and gentlemen, that showed up on CollectionDX.com in the last, what was it, 3 weeks now, I think. The first one to show up was the Super Robot Chogokin Gokai-Oh, which doesn't look too bad. It's very reminiscent of the stunt suit that you actually see in the show, which is nice. You can tell because the was it the Gokai Galleon shoulder kibble, rather than being attached to the torso, is attached to the top of the shoulders. So, okay, that works. That's fine. That's how they do it in the show with a stunt suit, so that's no problem. What surprised me though is they actually went ahead and I thought they were going to do an arm swapping system for the SRC at least, where one of the arms would be solid and hollow so that you could stick what was it, Legend Sentai Great Powers in there, and then they'd have another pair of arms that would be, fully articulate, fully flexible. It turns out that they only gave you one pair of arms, which can both open up, but they're not hollow, and they can be posable. So that's kind of strange looking, but whatever. And right now we've seen. We also have confirmation of an SRC Deca Ranger Robo, which is, I don't know. I'm gonna have to see some more photos of it, but the feet on that thing are bloody enormous. My God, I don't mean to sound British, but they're bloody enormous. I don't know. The Deca Ranger Robo was a bit of a block former. It wasn't that great. I'll keep it. I like the DX version that I have. Blah blah blah, but I don't know if it was a good choice. Well, that's not true because the reason that they're bringing the Deca Ranger Robo in is so that they can provide the little accessory Pat Striker that you can break apart and then stick it into the SRC Gokai-Oh, which is, yes, thank you very much. That's actually good that you guys did that, okay? No sarcasm, I'm serious. It's good that they did that. And of course, right on the heels of the Deca Ranger Robo, I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this yet, and I don't think we've reported it on CDX. In fact, I know we haven't. There is an SRC Magic King on the way, which, by the way, looks an awful lot like that Retro Fire Titan Megazord. I mean, a lot. They've got the extended shoulder thingies. The wings are kind of similar, but the thighs, the upper arms, it's almost like a lot of the joints from the Retro Fire Titan Megazord were swapped onto the SRC Magic King. That's not good because I can't see any elbows, I can't see any wrists, I can't see any waist joint. I mean, I've got the SRC Shinken-Oh, which I've already shown you in a CDX review, but that SRC Magic King, wow, something's not right there. I'm going to wait a little bit and see what happens with that thing. I would kill for an SRC Magic King, but if that SRC Magic King doesn't turn out that great, I'm probably going to go for that Retro Fire Titan Megazord. By the way, quick aside here, I always thought that Titan Megazord, that's actually not a bad name for a Megazord, considering what they were coming up with. Titan Megazord? That's not bad. I actually kind of like that name. It's not flashy, but it's an apt description of the Zords that are in it. Whatever, I never saw Mystic Force. I don't give a shit. I much preferred Magi Ranger. Actually, Magi Ranger is one of my favorite Super Sentai. But anyways, there's a lot of speculation right now if an SRC Gao King is on the way. I would suspect that there is, although I don't know if they're going to be able to pull off a Shinken Gokai-Oh with the parts that they have, because there's a bit of limb swapping involved there, so I'm not sure if SRC Gokai-Oh will be able to stand up to it. But whatever. Getting an SRC Gao King if they make one. Just because the Retro Fire Wild Force Megazord just isn't up to spec. There's a lot that I found wrong with that thing. And we also recently reported on CDX that there is a Revoltech Evangelion Mark 6 on the way. Which, wow, that's pretty badass looking coloring scheme. It's a little difficult to tell in the movie, even from the preview segments in Evangelion 2.0. I mean, you see it in the last, 15 seconds of the movie, which was a total ripoff. You expected that thing to show up a lot sooner. I think what I'm going to end up doing is that I'm going to wait until 3.0 comes out to pick up the Mark 6, because it'll have the full accessories and blah blah blah. Not just this spear that was used to penetrate Unit 1. No pun intended. I don't think that's good enough. I mean, the light piping actually looks pretty damn awesome on that thing, but I'm going to wait until 3.0 comes out so we can get a decent Mark 6 Revoltech. So that's what I'm going to do. And you know why it is they're doing this. They're basically killing time until they can get the official announcement for when Eva 3.0 comes out. So that's the only reason we're getting the Mark 6 right now. Oh, you have to have something of the Mark 6 from the second movie. Yeah, okay, that's all well and good, but I'm going to wait until you get the full accessories from 3.0. But regardless of what accessories they have offering up, that Mark 6, yeah, I'm totally going to be getting one of those if I can. Well, that's the thing, though, is I only have one Revoltech Evangelion, and that's the winged mass production Eva from End of Evangelion in, what was it, 97 when that movie came out? I'm starting to forget. Yeah, something like that. So I've got one of those. I wanted to get one with a double-sided sword, but unfortunately I couldn't get to it in time. But I actually had a chance to hold Revoltech Evangelion Unit 4 in my hand. It was a broken floor model, but I had a chance to hold it, and I can't get into Revoltech Evas. I just can't do it. The only one I was willing to get was the mass production Eva, just because it was badass looking. I've never seen it in action with my own eyes. But actually, I'm seriously reconsidering this. Was it Eva Evolution Revoltech series, where they basically took all the 2.0 Evas and re-released them, and actually they're brand new molds. They've got a brand new hip joint system on them that looks pretty satisfying. I might skip Unit 1 and Unit 3. I reported to this in my commentary on Eva 2.0, but I'm just not as big a fan of what they did with Eva Unit 3, the the ninth angel. So I might end up skipping that one as well. Even though, it's a Revoltech, it looks fantastic, but just, I'm not a big fan of what they did with it. It just, I don't know what it was. It just was not as big and scary and badass as the 13th Angel was in the TV series. So, But I'm actually reconsidering getting Eva Unit 5. This is not the mass production Eva. This is Unit 5 from 2.0. It's still a bit heretical as far as Evas, the look and function of Evas are concerned, but after seeing it in the theater and seeing it on DVD a number of times, I'm starting to warm up to it. So, and because it totally has the head of the third angel on it, I'm probably going to try and shoot for that thing. The one I'm definitely going to try and aim for, though, is going to be the Revoltech Unit 0, which has the yellow-colored utility wings and a fucking huge N2 missile that it can carry on its shoulders. How can you go wrong with it? And it comes with a bust of the 10th Angel. That's awesome. I love that. So, if any of them, I'm definitely going to try and get that one. Revoltech Unit 2, I definitely love the color scheme for Rebuild Unit 2. That was pretty awesome. But I'm not sure if I'm going to get the Eva Evo version, the newest one, or if I'm going to try and aim for the one that came out when 2.0 was in theaters. I'm not sure. Oh, and by the way, where the fuck is Rebuild Unit 4? I'm still waiting on that one. In the last 2 minutes, I feel obligated to fulfill a promise that I made to someone else on YouTube. No offense, Bone Society X, it's not to you. This is actually for KRX50, who sent a private YouTube video to a number of people online, like 6 or 7 people, and he included me in it, and he said, is there anything I can do to improve my videos, improve my viewership? He's been trying to ramp up his video reviews. He does Super Sentai, Transformers, and Kamen Rider. And he actually speaks Japanese, so I actually envy him in that regard. He's actually corrected me on my number of my videos. Thank you very much, by the way. He's a little ornery about it, but whatever. But anyways, he sent this private video out, and he's asking for people to offer up suggestions how he could improve his videos or try and attract more attention to him. In my opinion, he just needs to put more keywords into his into the search parameters of each video. But he has a low membership, he has a low viewership for each of the videos, and he's trying to figure out ways of getting up there. So does anybody know where he could find himself an audience? I'm not sure. So I'm going to put it out to you guys and give KRX50 a shout out over here. I've seen his videos and I like some of the stuff he shows because he shows some stuff that even we haven't done on Collection DX. I've seen a number of his videos and the information he provides is pretty nice. He's not nearly as long-winded as I am, I'll say that. So if he can condense down useful information and get it across in a shorter amount of time than me, then he's probably got it good. So if the 392 of you who I know are listening to this vlog could go over to KRX50's channel. I've got him in my subscriptions listing, obviously. I think I have him friended. I can't remember. If you could go over there and give his reviews some love, and I'm sure he'd appreciate it. Is that good enough for you, KRX50? As always, there is much to say and not enough time to say it. Until next time, this is AV Unit 4A saying thanks for tuning in.